This is March 23rd, and this video won't come out until April 1st, so hopefully these will be up and germinated by then. But this is a very special Christmas gift that I received. Marigold seeds. One of my great nieces, Leah, and I think, Leah, that you're in grade 1. I think you were in kindergarten last year and grade 1 this year, if memory serves. Anyway, she grew marigolds last year herself and saved the seeds and gave me marigold seeds for Christmas. What a nice Christmas gift to get. So thoughtful. So I am going to be planting them. This is a cell pack. It has 18 cells in it, and I know I've got more than 18 seeds, so I'll probably put a couple in each one of the cells. At least a couple. Try to get close to 18 plants out of it. The soil is a seed starting mix, professional potting mix stuff. Just one of those commercially bought mixes for starting seeds. And I've already moistened it. That's what I tend to do when I'm planting anything before I pot it up. I moisten the soil. I'll continue planting, then I'll show you what we're going to do with these next. Well, there's the 18 cells planted with at least a couple of seeds in each one, and all I did was put it inside of a clear plastic bag. I didn't really tie the end up, but I sort of folded it under there a bit just to hold in the moisture and any heat that once the soil starts to warm up. It's sitting on a propagating mat which is plugged in. These are 4 different kinds of herbs that they've been planted maybe 24 hours or so, so hopefully before the end of this video, before I upload it next week, I'll be able to show you those as they're growing. Back here, let me see, those are Chinese lanterns. See that or not? I had them years ago. As usual, I changed my opinion. I want them back again. I found them, well, I wouldn't say so much invasive as very difficult to get rid of if you planted them somewhere where you didn't want them. They grow this orange, well, they have a blossom first, and then they grow this orange like a paper lantern, like a paper bag type thing. And what I didn't realize, maybe the kind I had before didn't do that, but this is perennial. I don't know if they'll bloom this year or not. And inside of that, if you don't dry it, if you open it up, there's an edible fruit, like the ground cherries, which I planted many years ago and can't get rid of because, I don't know, squirrels or something keep burying some of the fruit and they come up everywhere. But I want these again now, so I'll find someplace where I can plant them where they can be as invasive as they want to be, I guess. And this here is eggplant, and what I thought I was growing last year was an eggplant that looked something like this, and I didn't get it. Now I don't know if I bought the wrong seed or the wrong seed was in the envelope, because I didn't keep the envelope, so I really don't know. I ended up with that dark black purple type of eggplant. This is supposed to be the long and slender Asian variety. What do they call it? Ping tong. Eggplant ping tong from Taiwan. And I've never eaten them. I'm just always fascinated by them and wanted to try them. So hopefully I'll get them this year. And these are my 2 host tomato plants, which are starting to look quite nice. And actually, I think today sometime I will pot them on and put them down in front of the glass. Show that to you after I've done it. And these are my red onions from seeds. Now the plants are getting quite stout now. They had a haircut 2 or 3 days ago, and most of them are quite sturdy. I've lost some of the ones that were more spindly out at the edges. I think they don't get the proper amount of water towards the edges and the corners. I water them from below, but evidently the water doesn't get up to them out there, and if I don't think to hand water those ones. I'm losing some of them, but there'll be enough there for me to try and see if they work or not. I'm excited to get them in the garden and see how I do with them, because they're a variety of red onion, but for me, red onions in the past were always ones that had a short shelf life. They didn't work well as a storage onion. You had to use them up fairly quickly, but these are supposed to be a long storage onion, so time will tell on that one. This is my pepper plant jungle, a few of which I have pruned back for the second time, and it surprised me which ones. This one is a Thai chili, which, no reason why it shouldn't be vigorous, but I've never had a Thai chili that are as vigorous as the ones that I'm growing this year. They're fresh seed that I saved from ones that I grew last year, if that has anything to do with it or not, but they were getting very tall with their new branches, so I pinched the top off of them to encourage some more side growth down below. And this one in behind here, you can see these are espalets, and they're starting to have blossom buds come on, which I'm not going to let that happen. So I hate doing it, but I'm going to let them waste energy trying to produce fruit in the house. So I'll be going over them, removing all of that stuff. But they haven't grown terribly tall, but they've got a lot of new side branching, nice new side branches, if you can see that there, which also has fruit on it that are blossoms that I've got to remove. But nice stocky plants. I'm impressed with them so far anyway. These varieties of hot chilies that Kevin Bradley sent me the seeds for, they were started, well, much later than the other ones, which is why they're a bit smaller still. But they've been pruned once, and if you can pick that out there or not, they're starting now to grow their side branching, and they're all nice, healthy looking seedlings, Kevin. So I'm sure they will produce. That's the strange thing. I won't be planting them outside, at least I don't think so. I may put some of them outside. I think they will be grown in the hoop house once I get a new plastic roof on the hoop house. But I can grow hot peppers, chilies, outside here in our summer climate. They do quite well. We have lots of nice hot warm days. I don't mean to say that it was cold here in the summertime, but our nights are cool. Living here on an island surrounded by the Bay of Fundy, it's lovely. You don't need very much air conditioning here. Most days, an hour or two after dark, you'll get a nice cool breeze off the water and everything cools down. And I can't grow any of the sweet peppers, the bell peppers, that sort of thing, out in the garden. I get nasty little hard sour things. I don't get nice peppers out of it, and they grow very well in the hoop house. So I may try putting some of these just out in the garden along with some in the hoop house to see how well they do, but I'm anxious to try them anyway, and they're coming along nicely. Well, this is quite a large pot. It does have drainage holes in the bottom, and I doubt if I ever water it enough that it would drain out on the floor, but nevertheless I've put a large glazed ceramic saucer under it, terracotta that's been glazed or whatever, just in case it does leak water out the bottom. And I was very fortunate. I just went looking for some potting mix, and where I went was Canadian Tire in their garden center area. Midwinter, I wasn't expecting to find much, but I found that they had organic Pro Mix, and I bought 2 sacks of it, and this pot holds just about all of 1 sack. I think it was 12.5 liters in a sack. So it supposedly has nutrient enough in it to grow most plants for 3 months without any addition. So time will tell on that one. I'm going to put both of the tomatoes in the same pot. Whether that's a mistake or not, I'm not sure, but I've seen several pictures online of people growing this type of house tomato, and they've got more than one plant in a good sized container. My thought here, it says it's not supposed to need any support. I've heard that on a lot of different plants in the past, and they usually end up needing support. So I was thinking if I had 2 sort of growing equal distance apart on the sides of the pot, I could put 1 bamboo cane cut off high enough. These are only supposed to grow about 18 inches tall, and support them both from the same cane. So, as I thought, they're not root bound in any way, but they do have some roots going all the way down. So Won't bother to plant them lower than they were grown at because they're not that tall yet anyway. Really anxious to see these grow. I don't expect any huge tomato crop, but it's going to be fun to, even if you get just a few tomatoes growing in the house. I suspect it'll be late summer, sometime before that actually happens. The soil around them was already damp. I had watered them, I think it was yesterday, but I'll water around them anyway to encourage the roots to move out into the organic potting mix in the pot here. Well, that is my house tomatoes planted out in a nice sunny spot today. Bitter cold. This is still the 23rd. It was minus 13 this morning. Gale force winds. Tremendous winds blew all night here. So the environment doesn't know that it's spring. Not here yet anyway. It's now the 30th. Yes, 30th of March. And I'm lucky that Leah gave me as many seeds as she did. As you can see, I got some germination. That one there has got 3 in it, which I may eventually separate out of there. But that is not a lot, considering there's 18 cells there. I got thinking about it after I planted them, and I think marigold seeds are a seed that needs to be planted the right way up. They're, you can see that or not, they're sort of meant to be scattered on the wind, I think, or stuck in the fur of an animal or something is how they would get transported around. So I think maybe the ones that didn't come up were planted upside down. I'm going to plant these remaining ones sideways. Hopefully we'll get a better germination, but I have some anyway, Leah. Can't make you watch me do all of this. I've got to move on to the other cells. I just prepared this little area to show you what I'm doing. I think I made a mistake when I was planting them. I've had pretty good germination with all of the herbs. These are the globe basil, and this is Thai basil. I've never grown Thai basil before, so I'm quite anxious to see what that's like. I love the globe basil because, like its name says, it grows in a little globe mound-shaped plant. But what I really like about it is it does not bolt and go to flower and seeds. Anytime I've ever planted the Genovese or the purple basil or any of those, you spend the summer cutting blossoms off of them so they won't go to seed. Globe basil doesn't do that. I don't know about the Thai basil, but I want to taste the Thai basil anyway. And this is chervil. This, you probably can't see the little seeds. They've just germinated. That is summer savory, favorite herb here in the Maritimes. Both the eggplant and the Chinese lanterns are getting their second sets of true leaves, so they've got to be put in other pots pretty soon, individual pots. And this is flat leaf Italian parsley, which hasn't germinated yet, but I'm not surprised. It's always very slow germinating, and it is fresh seed that I bought this year, so I'm sure it will germinate soon. But it was put in the same time as these other herbs, but it always takes much longer for parsley to germinate. I just brought my overgrown thatch of onions down out of the grow lights and put them in front of the door, the glass door, because I am soon going to need the space that they were occupying. Well, around the 1st of April I will start my tomato plants, and it'll be a while before they're in individual pots, but I'll plant them all around the 1st of April, and as you've just seen, some of the other things are going to soon be in individual pots. So the onions are in need of a haircut, but I'm sure they'll do quite well with just the light from the sun coming through the window. Well, thank you for watching. I just wanted to show you that the house tomatoes have grown quite nicely since they've been in this large pot for a week. I get my hand in there to give you some idea. They're not huge, but they have really grown quite a bit. And we have a new addition to the growing experiment, Harold, who's put a link right here soon there for his his channel, In the Garden with Papa. He used to be the old woodworking guy, but he recently changed his title to In the Garden with Papa. I like that, Harold. It's a nice name for your channel. I'll put the links also for Dave in Switzerland and Kevin in Ontario. Harold's also in Ontario, in Brampton, I think. Anyway, all three were there, so you can go check out their channels and see how they're making out with these. And thank you very much for watching.